Hey, what's going on, hunters? It's Raizu here from the Farcaster community, and today we are going over our season wrap-up. If you are new to Monster Hunter now, or you are just returning from a season hiatus, then this video is for you. We're going to break down what we received during Season 3, Curse of the Wandering Flame, and catch you up to speed. We received a new weapon, cooking feature, 6 new monsters, and a huge change in the meta. There's a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. To start off, the new weapon we received this season was the heavy bowgun. Now I'm sure you have seen tons of speedruns by now from Farcaster community member Schmorblin using the heavy bowgun on our channel. If not, you should totally watch them. But he demonstrated how this weapon can dish out insane damage. The heavy bowgun is also equipped with a shield, which helps perfect block attacks by standing still doing nothing. Schmorblin has also performed a deep dive regarding the damage output of the new ammo types with this heavy bowgun. If you haven't seen it already, make sure to check it out here. Hope you have an appetite, because the cooking mechanic was a delicious welcoming. This features streamlined gameplay for speedruns, enabling players to optimize their performance. For a whole 5 minutes, you begin each hunt with a full special gauge. If you're looking to obtain a world record speedrun, sometimes you just need to make sure your special crits for that optimized run. Didn't crit? No worries. You can just retreat from the monsters and restart it again with a full special. For players who are not into speedrunning, this is still a great feature for you. If you have a cluster of 4 to 5 monsters around you, consume a steak, pop your special off, and destroy each one without wasting time and move on to the next. Niantic did a solid job implementing this feature. Don't be monkeying around, because the first new monster we received was Rajang. Bringing that fighting spirit skill on his armors started off the season very well, providing additional roar and elemental damage when the special gauge was full. He also brought in the next super weapon, as one would say, the Rajang Heavy Bowgun. If you want to learn more about this Rajang Heavy Bowgun and why it's so good, check out this shameless plugin right here. Outside of the weapons and armors, he was kind of a pushover though in the fights. I do wish they made him a tad stronger. You know who they did make stronger though? This next monster right here. This next monster was a blast. Magnamalo at the beginning of the season was a learning curve for most players. Once you mastered his moveset, he became a fun, challenging fight and rewarded you very well. He gave us Hellfire Cloak, which is another way to trigger Resuscitate outside of Bubbly Dance. He also gave us a new set of blast weapons. Don't want to farm Teostra? Magnamalo was your key, arguably one of the best blast weapons you can possibly get. If you would like to see a deep dive of all the different blast weapons and which one is the most powerful, leave a comment down below. If we can get 20 comments asking for a blast video, we will work on that for you. For the odds one out, no, not this one, Aknosom. In the beginning of the season, it was exciting to see a new Fire 2 attack on the Greaves, alongside a defensive loading skill. Defensive loading, for those who don't know, can cheese your reloads, as you don't need to perfect block. You only have to block damage. So, if you're the type of person who likes to trade in their health for damage, you can stand in a burning pit of fire and reload your heavy bowgun to full. Defensive loading also works on Charge Blade, Light Bowgun, and Gunlance. Even at 10 star though, this monster is very weak and easy to defeat. A cool monster from Rise, but an easy one. Now, before we continue with the big 3, you know what time it is? Shameless plugin time. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. We would love to hear your thoughts on the game. We have an active Discord, so please make sure to check it out. Feature Friday is still a thing. If you have some fun clips, make sure to share with us on Discord. We would love to feature you on our channel. With that out of the way, let's continue to the big 3 of this season. Going for gold, we received Gold Rathian. While none of us have tested the Poison Exploit skill or Gold Poison weapons, from what we have seen from other players in the community, these are some solid weapons, and Poison Exploit is a great skill to slot in to boost that damage. Now, what the real gamers went for though from Gold Rathian was its coil, as this coil gave us Lock On and Resuscitate to amplify our Bubbly Dance builds, which we will be going over later in this video, so make sure you keep watching. Now this monster set fire to the meta. It's Silver Rathalos. You thought Magnamalo was challenging? Well, Niantic said hold my beer, and they gave us this fight. It is the hardest fight in the game. It's 3 potion bundles that will get consumed in a blink of an eye. However, the fight is the most fun you'll ever have. It really brings a challenge to the franchise for players who are heavily invested. The reason why this monster is the meta shifter is because it came out with Critical Element. Remember those great armors I just talked about from the first 3 monsters? Yeah, you can toss them out the window because Critical Element became the super armor, as some would say. Elemental weapons with high affinity, like Mitsuzune and Silver Rathalos, drool over this armor. Increasing your elemental attack by 40 to 80% on critical hits completely burned the bridge of needing Elemental Attack 5 on your armor pieces. Silver Rathalos also provided the endgame fire weapons for everyone. Hammer and Dual Blade mains, like Ronjalong and myself, cheered with joy to no longer need Anjanath weapons holding us back. Silver Rathalos, hands down, became the highlight of this season. Coming from Monster Hunter World is the flagship Elder Dragon, Nergigante. He is just as formidable as he was in his debut game. His armor and weapons open up some exciting build possibilities too. He brings to the table the next set of dragon weapons with Zero Affinity and Part Breaker 2, which Part Breaker 2 is crucial for maximizing rewards in hunts. His armor comes with the skill Nergigante Avidity. If you can be creative and find ways to add this to your build, it can greatly increase your DPS, shortening hunt times. Though, the only time we would not recommend this is if you're trying to speedrun during a paid weekend event, as this skill stops you from gaining your special, and you may want your special full as much as possible without spending money on those premium stakes. It was poor planning on Niantic's part that they brought him back during the final week of Season 3 instead of leaving him around once the global event ended. We are a fan though of them doing these only Elder Dragon spawning events, and highly recommend them to keep doing more of this, as eventually EDIs are going to be flooded with various elders, and at that point no one's going to be motivated to find the one they want and hunt it. Hopefully Niantic has a good plan for this. Speaking of paid events, let's segue into that. Niantic gave us 2 paid events this season, the first being an early access in Shibuya, Japan, and then a few weeks later they gave us a global event for everyone. These events had their pros and cons. The pros being all those sweet bonuses, like half-hour monster refreshes, more monster spawns, and permanent Wander Orb. The cons, however, was gating a super armor, the Carnival Chestplate, behind a paid event. Earlier this month, Niantic removed the ability to use event tickets for upgrading the event armor. However, they still require the initial tickets to craft them. So unfortunately, if you're new to the game or just coming back today from a hiatus, you will not get to use this lock-on Critical Eye 2 chestplate that most players are talking about. But outside of gatekeeping armors, this event was a solid win and worth the $15 they charged. A new feature they brought to the paid event though was a boosted weapons and armor. So let's say you're new to the game and you're not sure what weapon you would enjoy, or you want to try and fight an 8-star Elder Dragon like Nergigante, but your weapon would not be able to do enough damage. Niantic gave us a full set of Carnival weapons with the Blast status that's super effective against Nergigante, and when equipped during this paid event, they would be upscaled to grade 9. This gave you the damage needed to jump right into the fight and see which weapons you like before crafting it. This was a great feature, and I hope to see more of this. So, where do we stand this season? Critical Element and Bubbly Dance became the new meta armor for melee players. Running Silver Rathalos helm, Mizu chest, gloves, greaves, and Gold Rathian coil became the go-to build. Yes, it's Driftstone heavy, requiring critical I5 and one weakness exploit that you have to smelt, but once you have that, you may not need to replace your armor for a very long time. As for you range players, the game-changing armor for you is the Nergigante helm for bow and the greaves for bow gun players. Bows don't really need to use a special, so the helmet is a free 10% damage boost, and for the greaves, as Schmorblin put it, is your Koro Puki at home coil. Overall, Niantic did a great job with this season. We have an exciting new season coming tomorrow called Roar from the Winterwind. Make sure you hit that bell icon or join our Discord to be notified, as we will be covering the new monsters Lagombi, Somnicanth, Tigrex, the new weapon Switch Axe, and any other surprises Niantic has in store for us. Stay safe out there, hunters, and we will catch you in the next video. Raizu out.